The War and Treaty. Tanya and Michael, welcome. The band sounds great. The sound is great. The story is so cool. I think it's so cool that you guys found each other. I understand when you met, Michael, you didn't make it very easy. Tanya gave you her number and you threw it away.
Oh boy, yeah, I wasn't thinking.
So what happened? How did you figure it out?
Well, I mean, coming out of the war, and I had put on a couple of pounds there, and with that comes a little bit of some low self-esteem. So I just thought she gave me the wrong number, so I just threw it in the trash. She couldn't possibly want me. I'm tall sideways. But no. No, but she actually found me again, and we began to make music and make great music and love for the rest of our lives now.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to realize how great your voices sounded together? Did that happen pretty quickly, or did somebody else have to point it out that your voices really worked well together?
We still don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, we don't. We were together, I guess, 3 years before we started singing together. We were married for 3 years.
Wow.
And a friend of ours heard us singing together, and she was like,
Amazing.
"You guys don't hear that?" And we were like, "No."
Michael, let me ask you about that experience in Iraq, if you don't mind. And I know that this is not an easy subject for anybody who's been through what you've been through. So forgive me if I'm, but I'm trying to understand the effect of discovering in the bombed out ruins of an old Saddam Hussein palace, finding that piano there, and what that meant for you in the midst of all that stuff.
It meant life for me.
Yeah.
A well-known fact is Saddam loved the piano, and he had pianos all over Iraq and in every palace that he owned. And the one that we took over just happened to have the very first piano was upright black piano, and I often tell the story. I was identified out of 980 plus soldiers as the weak link, because everyone was patriotic and extremely happy to be there, and I was off in the corner crying and saying, "I don't want to die," But when I went down to the piano, it just kept giving me life.
Yeah. And had you played piano before, or was this just you discovering it?
My mother put me in piano lessons when I was younger for one day. I quickly quit.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, these white keys and these black keys, and they wanted me to do some major amounts. I was like, just teach me how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I'm good.
Yeah. So you were discovering it, and had you already been writing songs, or is that something you started then also?
Just dabbling, trying. I didn't write songs. I wrote raps.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a rapper, And then once I got in the military, I started to understand the power of songwriting, and the healing that it can bring, and that's where songwriting really hit me.
Yeah. And is that what you heard, Tanya, when you heard his music? Is that the kind of emotion and kind of backstory that you could sense when you first heard him singing and playing?
Oh, yeah. I heard him at a love festival. That's how we met, and he was performing. It was
At a love festival?
Yeah, it was a love festival.
Okay.
It was an outdoor festival called The Love.
Okay.
And I was like, go figure, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Did everybody there get married also, or just you two?
Just me.
Just us. It was amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe what my ears were hearing when I saw him on that stage with singing songs that I then learned he'd written himself.
Yeah. Well, it's a powerful thing, and obviously, from reading the liner notes on your record, this is about lots more than just making music together. You guys are really interested. I mean, the title of your album, "Healing Tide." You're interested in fixing things, and I suppose that starts, Michael, as a songwriter, fixing yourself, right? Just healing yourself from the trauma that you experienced and whatever you carried on from your childhood, or.
Yeah, totally. And it's so amazing because when you think of healing yourself, it's we rarely see where we actually heal ourselves. It's usually you're allowing someone else to come in and do the healing. And in my case, it was definitely my wife being able to come in there and tell me what she sees and to love on me and for me to just, unravel in front of her without judgment meant the world to me.
Because you were suffering from PTSD and anxiety and
Still do.
still do, yeah.
Severe,
Yeah.
and depression, anxiety, and
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But the thing that I suffer with over PTSD is a thing that's very popular amongst psychiatrists nowadays, which is called moral injury. The fact that you're still here and your buddies and your brothers and your sisters are not.
Yeah.
And that is very, that's what makes the story tough. Not the war, not, the gory details, but the fact that you're not the only person who wanted to do music.
Yeah, but it also makes it possible for you to then have empathy for all kinds of other people who are also suffering in the world.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at trying to heal and you're trying to be out in public and you're trying to use music to bring people together across the divisions and across the boundaries and borders that are being set up around us, it gives you that, I'm assuming it gives you that extra power to really feel for people in need.
It don't take much. It don't take much. I mean, you remember great leaders that have come before you, like Dr. King, Kennedy, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and
Pop
then
staples.
Pop staples, definitely.
Yeah.
And then you want to be like them,
Yeah.
and then you see the good in every human being that comes across you.
Yeah. In case you just tuned in, you're listening to eTown, Hero of the War and Treaty. Your record, we mentioned before, it's called The Healing Tide. We have to give a little bit of props to our friend Buddy Miller.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Our buddy. Yeah.
He helped a little.
Oh yeah, yes he did.
And Emmylou Harris is singing on the record.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, she is.
Yeah. And so did it come out as well as you'd hoped?
Better,
Better.
in my opinion. Not being, too toot, but
We learned so much. It was just really a humbling process
Yeah.
to be amongst some of the great musicians and Emmylou Harris, the goddess.
Sam Bush, Sam Bush and Emmy
yeah.
Lou Harris are on the same track.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're talking about my people. And I've been checking out your schedule. And, one of the things that's cool about so is the alignment of your mission of what you're trying to do with your music and the way your music sounds is that it really works everywhere. So I mentioned that we were on the same festival, the Clearwater Festival, a couple months ago, which was a beautiful
Yeah.
scene and
Totally.
a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
But you also played Bonnaroo, and you also played Newport Folk Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And you're playing everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing. The gospel set at the Telluride Bluegrass Festival.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
you guys too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We actually were the entire gospel set.
Yeah.
We didn't know that. They should have. I forgot we were on air.
Yeah.
Yes, we were the entire gospel set, and we
Yeah.
knew that.
Clean it up. Clean it up.
So is there any show you've played in the last year that you're going, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like we should be here.
I plead the fifth.
Come on.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yes.
There's sometimes where it just feels like, man, this doesn't feel like we're the right sound for this.
I'll be completely honest. It usually doesn't have anything to do with sound. Sometimes we've encountered where we're just not the right fit, and that's sad sometimes.
Yeah.
And we don't recognize it when we're there. We recognize it in the aftermaths where there are no mentions, so it's like we never existed there. But then the real reason why we do this starts writing us in our inbox, and people start saying, I walked off that ledge and I didn't do what I thought I was going to do, and I didn't hurt myself and X, Y, and Z. And then you say, well, thank God, that we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I could echo that. I'm really glad you're doing what you're doing.
Thank
and
you.
It sounds good. The band sounds great. We're so glad you're here. Let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, The War and Treaty.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Nick Forster from eTown. If you want to stay up to date with all the performances, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage, click the subscribe button. Thanks.